Okay, so I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. What I want to touch on today is placeboard training. There's schools of thought. Obviously, if I go out working in the field, I'm not going to have a placeboard, but I still think that they're a really important part of training for certain dogs. They can help with a delivery problem, they can help with a recall, they can help with steadiness. So as you can see, Quinn knows his placeboard, quite happy on a placeboard. If you're training it from the beginning, you need one that's nice and stable. We have somebody that makes them for us. They're plastic, lightweight, all weather. So all I would do to start with is with a young dog, is I would get them walking over it, get them putting their feet on it, and I would reward them for that. I am using treats with him because that's what motivates him. So I just get them walking over it, get them comfortable. Once they're happy on it, I'd get them to sit. And then this becomes place. So once they're comfortable on it, you bring them off it, you lure them on it, sit, place. And then he knows this means place. So I can bring him here, come, and I can tell him place. And that's a target for him. It's somewhere for him to go. When you're dealing with younger dogs that are not so steady, if you've got one that's overactive, it gives them a clear place to be when you're doing stays and steadiness. So if I tell him stay, he's on his place, but I'm not telling him anything else. In theory, I can now do all of this, and he shouldn't move because he's on his place, I've told him to stay, and I've got a clear place to put him back to if and when I need to. So I'm just going to pick my dummies back up. Give him a little reward for staying, but you can see how it gives him a clear place to be. If he's in the grass, he can shuffle around. I know on here that he hasn't moved 2 foot. If I turn my back on him on grass and he moves 2 foot, I might not notice, and then I'm losing the steadiness of my stay. So they're really useful for that, and they're quite useful for a recall. So if I bring him off it, a delivery problem down the line. It is how I fixed his delivery problem. Come on. Place. So he comes in and he sits because this end position is place. Ultimately, I then use that to send him for a retrieve, bring him in, and he then sat and presented. It took a while, but it did help my delivery problem. So if we send him for a dummy, sit, back. So unfortunately, I'm putting my back to the way. So he's going to come in and he's going to sit because this is place and that's his position. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. So it's useful for that. Useful for your steadiness. So if you get your dog used to recalling onto a placeboard repeatedly, when you call them in for a retrieve, they should be patterning that exercise. Like I say, we've got a couple of dogs that are a bit busier, and it's been invaluable for them, for giving them a clear position to sit in, and now they're nice steady dogs. So it's a nice tool to have in the toolbox. You don't have to use one. I wouldn't use one with him anymore because he doesn't necessarily need it, but also doesn't do him any harm to get on it every now and then and just refresh those sorts of training, that nice delivery. You're not then getting